Okay, this time I'm going to do something different. I'm going to suggest which one of these three are worth to R6 because I'm planning to R6 one of them. Recently, there's no rush for you to get an R0 Esper. Even though this guy is amazing, like borderline broken in PvE, you don't need to get him ASAP because when the next patch comes in, he will be in the wish pool. As you can see, Fumitsuki is in the wish pool right now and she's new, right? So you don't need to go for a new Esper if you are only planning to get them R0. The event banner is only to get their resonance, and getting resonance is way more worth it to spend your Wishstones right now because it costs less as opposed to previously it cost still 100 Wishstones to get your dupes. If it was 5 months ago, I would keep to my word and say R6 is not worth it because it takes way too much Wishstones and you are accelerating the fact that you're getting R7 of that Esper. But now it's discounted, so getting R6 of that Esper is going to be way cheaper and it's going to benefit you early on, which gets you more rewards if you get them R6. The first one I'm going to go through is Jinny. Unfortunately, at this point, Jinny has been power crept. She requires way too much investment for her to be even decent in PvP, and she's only used for PvP, nowhere to be seen in PvE. Because the thing is, she just doesn't do enough for the team, and she doesn't do enough damage. She doesn't tank well enough. She was really good back then because she could solo an entire team, right? But this time, we already have Ana, which can solo the entire team. We have Iki that can counter her pretty well. Even defense break and then AoE from Lee can just one-shot her at this point. She doesn't have a revive, she doesn't have debuff immunity. She only heals, and heal will reduce over time and eventually becomes 0 in PvP. And also her retaliation damage from her intense hit, it's only 40% of her attack up to a maximum of 120% of her attack, which is again not a lot. You need to attack her for her to retaliate with that damage. We have a new Shimmer Knight 5, which is Wu Yu, that puts that to all of your defender teammates, so she gets outshined in that department as well. Again, the damage is not enough. The true damage that she adds to from the intense hit is just way too little. She doesn't 100 to 0 R2 Jinchu plus Mavis. If you have her at R2, even at R6, she doesn't one-shot unless you have defense break. And even sometimes with defense break, she doesn't one-shot still. She requires way too much investment for her to even be decent in PvP. If you take a look at PvP right now, you don't see her anywhere in Point War anymore. Because Point War only has one team. But in Beat Bout, barely anyone is running her. And we have 2 teams in Beat Bout, right? So, yeah. Like the top 100, I think only 2 to 3 players are running her. And that's at R6 D6. In Knockout, she's not really being used that much as well. She is not being used in Bronze tier because 2 teams is not enough to slot her in. She's not good enough anymore. There's way better Espers to run. Even in Silver, people who have her at R6 D6 sometimes don't run her in Silver as well. And in Gold tier is where you kind of get the opportunity to run her because now you have 4 teams. But if you have her at R2, you probably won't even run her in Gold tier and even in Diamond tier if she's anything below R6. That's how much she's been power crept. There's just way too many better Espers than her. She just doesn't provide much. And I want to discuss what sets her apart versus other Bruiser Espers. First off, let's take a look at what she's similar to, right? Jinny and Hyde is similar in a sense that every resonance gives them more damage and more survivability. Now this is true to every Esper, but these type of bruisers where they don't have any damage mitigation, like 100% damage mitigation or a shield that can tank a lot, this resonance on them is more impactful on any other Espers because they really need the stats. They need attack for more damage, they need defense for more tankiness, and they need the HP for more tankiness as well. Now we'll go to another Bruiser, Ggez. The new version of Ggez does not need any resonance. Even at R0 he tanks very well. Why? Because he has a cheat death mechanic, he has standoff, he has a shield in his demon mode which makes him pretty much unkillable. But once he runs out of that demon mode, he just dies. It doesn't matter how many resonance he has. The resonance will add more damage to him, but it will not add that much survivability to him, unlike Jinny and Hyde. Okay, let's take a look at another Bruiser, Fushi. This one is also a prime example. R0 Fushi is not tanky at all. He doesn't tank, he just gets one-shotted. He is too squishy to be run even with Embla. When he gets defense broken, he just gets one-shotted. but with resonance, it helps him do more damage, which he needs, and it helps him survive a lot better. At R0, he is not good at all. You don't see R0 Fushi being run with Embla, like almost at all in PvP, because he is just way too squishy. The added effects also does impact him quite a bit. This is R6, gives him 2 turns of this dispersal, which is going to help him tank a lot better. So this is what I mean. Jinny and Hyde and Fushi is this type of bruiser where they need all the resonance and all of the divinate to help them tank better, as opposed to other bruisers that can just run at R0 like Ana. Ana has 100% damage mitigation if that attack is single hit. She doesn't need more resonance to help the tank. It does help the tank a little bit better, but not as much as what Fushi or Jinny gets from resonance. Jinny, I would say she is a skip at this point. She will not get better over time. Maybe if they do a unit release that can combo very well with her, but I don't really see it. Now I want to go over Leen. Leen is a very interesting one. She has 100% pick rate in top 64 knockout for about 2 seasons now, and almost everyone in Beatbout top 100 has an R6 Leen. Now she is only used for PvP, but she has some places in PvE. She's not completely useless in PvE. She's a bit interesting because at R0 to R1, she is almost completely useless. She doesn't cycle that well. She doesn't start off with the buff, and that's the main important thing, right? If she's slow, she doesn't get a turn, she can't cast the S3. She is going to be a sitting duck in PvP. R2, she becomes decent in PvP, but you do need to run her in a speed team because she doesn't start with this Dream Bubble buff. But when you reach R6, she goes from decent to one of the best PvP support Esper in the game. And it's not just because of the healing that she provides, it is per hit, so she's the best healer in PvP. It's also the fact that her shield is ridiculously stupid. 60% of her max HP on a 4-turn cooldown, and she also gains an instant turn whenever the Dream Bubble ends. And her R4 grants shield strength plus 30%. This 60% of her max HP is almost unbreakable. If the enemy don't have any buff block, you cannot go through the shield, like at all. So she's one of the most impactful R6 in PvP. And the best advice from me, focus on where the rewards are at. Now Leen might be only PvP exclusive Esper, but majority of the rewards are in PvP. So if you don't focus on PvP Espers, you are going to be missing out on a lot of rewards. Some of you are wondering why I have so many Shimmer records, and this is the reason why. Every knockout, I rank between top 1% to top 64 because I focus on where the rewards are at. And in Beatbout, I rank between 100 to top 100, which gives me more rewards, more Nexus Crystals to summon. Again, the best advice I can give to you is to focus on where the rewards are at. They could change the layout of the game to be more PvE oriented and put more rewards in PvE, but we don't know the future, right? Hands down, one of the best R6 that you can get. Now, I want to go over Chu Ya. Chu Ya is an impeccable Esper at R0, at R2, at R4, at R6. He's impeccable in PvE, in PvP. This guy can be used anywhere you can think of, you can use him. But the thing is, like I said, he is good throughout all of his resonance. His R6 is not a make or break to the character as opposed to Leen. Leen's R6 is a make or break to the character. If you don't have her at R6, she doesn't work as well. Let's take a look at his usage for now, right? In PvE, he is used for all 3 of the Felsoto Fantasy, which gives you rewards. I've broken my high score for all 3 of the bosses, by the way. This is my new Forbitzer boss with this guy as well. And I'm using him with Embla. It's the same thing. Oh, not this one. This is the team I'm running. So, he is R0, D0, no skill ups. I'm not even building him as a DPS. And he adds a lot of damage to this team. And then in Sonica, he is the best support for Liam as well, for Team 1. Dark Starlord, again, best support for Embla. One of the best support for Embla. So in all 3 bosses, he's going to add your score considerably, especially if you have either Embla or not just Embla. You can run him with any other strong S1 DPS unit. You can run him with Daji. You can run him with Tever. His R6 is going to add a lot in PvP The attack minus is going to be great against Iki. The shield reduction is going to be good against R2 Jinchu and Mavis, and it's going to be good against R6 Leen because of the amount of shield that she provides, right? So this guy is going to be countering two of the best meta currently, R6 Leen and Mavis plus Jinchu. If you are only focused on PvE, you can get him R0 and then dip out. You can also get him R2 and then dip out. His R4 is not useful at all in PvE. His R6 is useful a bit, but not that much. This minus 45% attack on Falsetto Fantasy bosses will be useful, but you don't need it. As long as you can get the right RNG, your team won't die. You don't need him R4, you don't need him R6. R6 is very good for PvP though. So between the two, Chu Ya or Leen, I would have to say Leen, because like I said, Leen is a make or break to the character. You don't need Chu Ya to be at R6 for him to be usable. You just need him to be at R4 for him to work in PvP, or even R2. R2 works perfectly fine as well in PvP, but his R6 does elevate him a little bit more to help him counter Leen and Mavis comps. But Leen, on the other hand, anything below R6 is almost unusable. And once you get her to R6, she is one of the most meta-breaking Esper in the game. And yeah, that's it. So between the three, she is not worth it anymore to R6. She is definitely 100% worth it to R6. This guy is also definitely 100% worth it to R6. But the priority, I would have to give it to Leen, because Leen's R6 is a make or break to the character. With that being said, I have one go record to summon. This is my guaranteed legendary right here. Watch me get Shimmer Legend. Okay, never mind. Watch me get a Leen right here so I can save some Wishstones. Also, by the way, if it wasn't... Oh, Mavis, not bad. Mine's R2. Okay, there we go. R2 Mavis. If at least 3 teammates have Graveless buff, she will minus her cooldown by 1 turn. Very good. Now the time has come for me to summon my very first R6 legendary through Wishstones. Okay, not my very first R6 legendary, it's R6 legendary through Wishstones. So I need, let me make sure I count this correctly, I need 5 copies of her, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to spend 350 Wishstones. I will still have about 140 or 150 residue Wishstones. Kind of crazy. Again, the reason why this is my very first R6 legendary through Wishstones is because back then I don't think getting R6 is worth it, because it costs too much, 100 Wishstones for a dupe. Now with the reduction of the Wishstones, it's definitely worth it, and this is one of the best R6 that you can get in the game. And this is the reason, and this is the main reason why I have so much Wishstones lying around every single update. It's because I just don't spend my Wishstones, right? Every update I either spend 0 or I spend only 100. And sometimes I will go 2 patches skipping both of the Espers. So yeah, that's the reason why I have so many Wishstones. A prime rule to not just gaming: if you don't need to spend, don't spend. Don't look for trouble. If your account doesn't need a specific unit, if you're already doing well in PvP, you're getting top 10 or something, whatever, then you can probably just skip a unit and not go for it, because you don't need it, right? Unless you just want to have fun, which is the whole point of the game. Let's go. I can finally use the new Shimmer Knight 5 to her full capability. The problem with the new Shimmer Knight 5 is the team lacks healing, and Leen is just a perfect unit to add to the team. Boom! Let's go! Level 15 rival runes as well. I am also going to get her Divinate, but that's not going to be anytime soon. There it is, maxed out. Next video, stay tuned. That's about it, ciao.